Hey everybody, this is Greg Gossett from Gossett Trading and Mentoring Live, and today is Thursday, June 11th, 2020, or as we might refer to it, Black Thursday. My gosh, what a day. Well, we're in the final hour of the trading day. I mention this each day, but in my opinion, the most valid time to make your buying and selling decisions is at the end of the day. Right before the market closes, that's when the large financial institutions come in. They come in with size. They take the control of the price away from the day traders and the algorithms that control it during the day. So they're dealing with the most money. They're very smart. They have the best technology, best information. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens at the end of the day, what the large financial institutions are going to do. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a rally here in the last hour, or if we had a meltdown. I just don't know. I kind of feel like it's going to be one or the other, though. But anyway, boy, what a day. What a day. Dow Jones down 1,697 points, everybody, down 6.27%. NASDAQ's down 471 points, down 4.70. The S&P down 171, down 5.38%. And I think the Russell 2000 is down 7%. So it's a bloodbath without a doubt. Let's see who's here. Let's see who's surviving. Dan, good to see you, buddy. Hello, Greg and everyone. What a day it certainly is. Thanks for coming down. Hi, Evan. Good afternoon to you. Quad says, good afternoon, Greg and all. Good afternoon, my friend. Good to see you. We traded emails, so I hope that helps. We'll ask Steve Burns here today if he has an answer to that question. Wow, what a down day. Kamal, hey, buddy. Good to see Kamal as always. Miko, hey, Miko. Nice to see you here. Kamal says that 5% down on a day down on the SPY is going to take me out of all positions. Yeah, I think it's going to take most people out of most. Steve Burns, hey buddy, good to see you. Nice to have you here. Appreciate you being here. Always an honor, always a privilege. Steve says, well, that sell-off escalated quickly. My gosh, it sure did. Hey, quick question for you, Steve. On stock charts, Quad Racer up there, he uses stock charts, and is there a function where you can click on something that will adjust for dividends compared to not? I know it has the option, but I don't know how. Karen yesterday said if you put a negative symbol by it, that might help. But since I know you know stock charts well, I thought I'd ask you. Frank, buddy, good to see you. Hello, Greg and group. Hi, Frank. John, I regret that I have but one thumbs up to give for my Gossett. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Always good to see you. By the way, I did go. I am aware of that. I am aware of what is it? I think it's Warrior Trader. I have a friend that joined that. More day trading. I think his name is Ross. Frank says, well, at least my stops erased most of the board. Yeah, well, we might be cleaning up the board today. That's for sure. Boy, what a day. I don't even know where to begin with. Well, I guess one thing is, we were pretty high. I was reading a report about Google had the most searches ever for day trading and buying calls. People were talking about how easy trading is, how easy day trading is, how dumb Warren Buffett is. Can you imagine? He's not dumb. He's one of the best investors of all time. And, entering new positions at these highs here, to me, is not the right thing to do. We have a lot of things that have come back into value, so that's good. That's a plus, right? So anyway, here is the plan for today. First, Steve says, yes, you use the underscore in front of the ticker, and that gives you unadjusted. Oh, so is it set for adjusted then? So you're saying if you put an underscore in front, you get unadjusted, but we want adjusted. So I guess it just default is correct then, huh, Steve? Okay. Thank you for that, Steve. Appreciate that. All right. I have Okay. Steve says, glad only to have gold today. Yes, for sure. Absolutely. So listen, here's the plan real quick. We're going to run through my current positions, talk about when I bought them, why I bought them, how I'm going to manage them going forward. After that, we're going to go through everybody's positions, see how they are doing there on that side. Looks like we might be cleaning out a bunch of these today. After that, we're going to spend a few minutes on trader psychology. This is an apropos date to talk about psychology because fear and greed and gain and loss, that all comes into play. So we are going to talk about that as well. After that, we're going to go down through my watch list. There hasn't been a whole lot to choose from lately. Things are changing a little bit here, but we are going to go down through the watch list, each stock one by one. I look for 3 requirements before I take a trade. First requirement, want to make sure that I have a combination or a confluence of indicators lining up. I look at each indicator as a group of buyers, and therefore I want to put myself in a position where I'm in with as many other groups of buyers as possible, because the more buyers you have, the better chance you have for a profitable trade. That's just all there is to it. After that, requirement number 2, look for a good risk to reward ratio. Want to make sure I have at least 2 times to the upside compared to what I'm losing to the downside based upon valid resistance above me and valid support below me. I guess I should say on the resistance, likely resistance above me. Something that has a good chance of getting hit above. And then number 3, just want to make sure we do not have too many correlated positions, not too many tech stocks in the portfolio, not too many healthcare stocks or not too many auto stocks. We want to have a mix. We want to have some diversity. And like Steve said, he's glad he's only in gold today. And it is a good idea to get outside of securities and look for maybe some gold or some oil or some bonds. I'm thankful that I'm in bonds today, for that very reason. So going to go through, see if there's any setups for today. If there are, I will go ahead and take the positions at the end of the day. After the market closes, if anybody has any questions for me, I'm happy to answer them, happy to clarify anything. If you'd like me to look at any stock positions, please let me know. Happy to give you my humble opinion on them. If there's any stock positions you'd like me to look at before the market closes, if it would be helpful for you, if you think it'd be helpful for the group, please let me know. But put a star by it or an asterisk so I know that it's time sensitive. After the market closes, if you have any updates for me on the board as far as any new entries, any new exits, please let me know. But if you could wait till the close of the market, after the market, then I'll have more time to get them right. There's a bunch of you, and I want to make sure I have the charts right. But during the market hours, I'm up against the clock. I'm sure you can understand, right? Okay, that's the plan for today. Quad Racer says, default appears to be different from Greg's chart. So not sure if Greg's are not adjusted for dividends. Yeah, mine are adjusted for dividends. The only difference is on your Keltner channels, Quad, your default setting there is EMA. But on my Keltner channels, I use SMA. So I don't think stock charts has the ability to do that. So that's the difference. But listen, it doesn't matter. It's not like mine are right and yours are wrong. It'd be nice if we were on the same page with them, but if you don't have the option, you don't have the option. Just use what you have, right? Okay, so listen, I'm going to run the U.S. legal disclaimer. I'll be back about 40 seconds. Thanks. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Please carefully read and/or listen to the U.S. government required disclaimer before watching this video or live stream broadcast. The video link and disclaimer text are located in the description section of this video or live broadcast, here and here. Thank you so much. All righty. Quad says, I've been successful with how they are, so I'll keep it. Thanks again, Greg and Steve. You're right. That makes sense. I'll just follow my signals. Yeah. Somebody asked me, hey, do you use a 20 EMA or 20 SMA? I'm like, it doesn't matter. Just be consistent with it. Sometimes the EMA is going to help you. Sometimes it's going to hurt you, and vice versa with the SMA. So Yeah, just use what you have. Man, what a day. Holy smokes. I'll tell you, I was fortunate in another account that I manage over the last 2 days did load up on puts for an account that I manage, not this trading account here, but another account. And so that worked out. That worked out today. It was scary. It was scary to buy those up there. But that's, for a friend of mine that I manage his account. And so he is having a good day at least. Bacon Bandit. Hey, good to see you, buddy. Nice to have you here. Hey, Greg, don't forget the market's job is to inflict the most pain, hence the pain today. Personally, I think the market is manipulated, but that is for another day's discussion. Well, it is pretty well known that the market's job is to inflict pain on the majority of people. And that's when the majority of people are short, it usually goes up, and that's when the majority of people are long, it goes down, right? But I mean, I think we could all feel it in the air that things were just manic, right? I mean, I'm grateful that, I had the overnight SPY trade that kicked my butt, but other than that, not too bad. I did have a couple day trades here, one positive, one negative. So that was kind of a wash. But my gosh, Frank says, the market's up, then it's down, can make your head spin around. Now you see it. Now you don't. Get back in, try to wade. Then the trade starts to fade. Stay cool, calm your fire. So much for a trader's desire. Okay, I did a really horrible job with that. The market's up, then it's down, can make your head spin around. Now you see it, now you don't. Get back in, try to wade, then the trade starts to fade. Stay cool, calm your fire. So much for a trader's desire. Bravo, Frank. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that as always for your effort and your skill in writing just very apropos poems, like literally based upon the day. I feel very fortunate, Frank, that you provide those for us each day. Gary M., crazy day. My puts are all in the money today. Is that a poem, Gary? Gary and I had our lesson last night, our final lesson, and I know Gary was loaded up on puts. We were talking about puts last night. Yes, sir, Gary's having a good day, and I think UNG is actually even up today, right? So way to go, Gary. Very nice, my friend. Glenn says, hi, Greg. Out of Dexcom and AMD with break below 20. We'll probably exit Netflix at the end of the day. Okay. If you don't mind, Glenn, update me at the end of the day after the market closes, and I'll get those all updated when we know for sure what you're doing, right? Whew, boy, oh boy. All right. Well, let's get to it. Painful as it is, wasn't that bad today, really. SPY, this was the big one. I do buy the SPY every day at the close of the market. I hold it overnight, take that overnight risk, which I did last night. And the reason I do this is from a back-tested study from Liz Ann Saunders at Bespoke Invest. Since 1993, they back-tested two approaches. First one, buy the SPY at the open. Hold it through the day, sell it at the close. This approach every day since 1993 turned a negative 13.9% return. However, if you do the opposite, which is what I do, buy the SPY at the close, hold overnight, take the overnight risk, and sell the next morning, the return was 634.2%. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. That is true. It may never work another day in the history of the world, but to date, since 1993, it has done well. You can see the equity curve up and down, up and down, up and down, but over time, all it's done is go up, where the buy in the morning, sell in the afternoon, all it's done is basically gone sideways to down. So that being said, I got whomped up on here, no doubt about it. I've had a good run the last 2 months, but this one, not so bueno. Got in here at 319, sold it this morning at 311. So, $7.60 to the downside. That's a whooping, but try to be positive about this. Good thing I got out at the freaking open, right? Now it's 9 points below that. So anyway, I will buy this again at at the close of the market. It's tough when you take a big loss like this, but you know, that's the plan. That's the system, and so I want to stick with it. All right, on the bright side, Karen, Gary, David, Frank, Quad, and myself, we did buy bonds here at 156.08. Back on the 6th, we went under 30, over 30, rejected the 6 ATR channel, negative 6 ATR channel. Difficult to get below there. It happens, but not a lot of the time. So bought it here, 156.08, and it is just cruised up, hit profit targets all the way up here, all the way up here. And I hit 3 profit targets today, actually, but 2 of them were above where I had them put in. So I had positive slippage. I got 2 here at 164.13, and I got out of my third at 163.67. So far, pretty good. That's a 5%, 5.19% move on bonds, which is pretty good. That's a huge percentage on bonds. So my ultimate profit target is here at the 50 excuse me, 50 SMA. If we get there tomorrow, I will be out of shares. I will be scaling out of shares, or I'll be out of shares that I'm scaling. So anyway, this one's looking good. If it doesn't get there, close below the previous day's low. Gold. All right. So listen, something is wrong with my gold chart on Trade Navigator. Yesterday, I took the trade with the 520 crossover. Last night, after I downloaded this, I'm like, wait a minute, why did I take this trade? But then I realized there's a missing day in here. I don't know why. Hopefully tonight it will fix itself. I did buy, thankfully I only bought a half a position yesterday. If you remember, you know, I didn't quite like the volatility, but I liked the crossover, so I did buy a half a position. I bought another half a position today, like I said I was going to, if it got to halfway of yesterday's bar. You can't see yesterday's bar, but I bought it here at 162.30. So I have a full position now. I have to go off another chart that I use because the other chart's working and it has a 520 crossover. Let's take a look here. So anyway, I am in a full position, but like I said, I had kind of a feeling that it might backfill a little bit. That's exactly what it did. So I did make a full position here. All right, Apple day trades. I did buy Apple earlier in the day here at 348.02. We had this nice V2 back into the value zone, so I bought it at 348.02. I got out of it right here when it rejected the 70 at 349.65. So it's pretty good, $1.63 on the trade to the upside. I got out. That was the right time to get out. Then I got in here when we had this nice V1 and the break and false breakout to the range. Got in here at 348.27. My stop was halfway of the washout bar, and I got out here at 347.76. So let's see there, 348.27. Yeah, so about 50 cents to the downside there. So anyway, I'm glad I got out because it really, really puked after that. All right, and so the net between the two Apple trades was positive. Then what I did is I bought, on the 39-minute chart, I bought the Qs. I bought them here. It went under 30, over 30. At the same time, we had a confluence right here at the 100 moving average. A confluence of the 100 moving averages with an under 30, over 30 is an excellent deep dip buy area. I didn't quite buy it at the top because I didn't notice it, so I bought it a little bit cheaper at 238.10, but I waited the 39 minutes and I had to get out at 237.10. So almost $1 loss on that. So about break even on the day trades today. So anyway, down day today, but you know, had a big hit on the SPY, had a nice move up, positive on the TLT. Gold is down, and then close to break even on the day trade. So all in all, not too bad. I mean, especially for a day that's down almost 1,800 points. Okay, let's take a look. This is going to be ugly. Evan bought this higher low V2 70.60. It's moved up nicely, down today, taking out the previous day's low. So still positive on the trade. I'm glad to see that, Evan. Let me know if there's any change. Kamal had a beautiful false breakout to the downside. V1 bought here at 104.09. Moved up nicely with just a monster trade. But today it was even positive for a minute, but then we collapsed down here. So looks like it's still positive on the trade, Kamal. If there's any changes, let me know. TWOU bought this at 33.43. Nice false breakout to the downside. V2 skyrocketed up, and unfortunately today down 7.89%. So if there's any changes there, Kamal, let me know. David and Kamal had another beautiful false breakout to the downside. V1 173 moved up, had a beautiful up bar, and then boom, down today. So it looks like just about break even or so on those trades. Frank bought this false breakout to the downside, bullish engulfing bar. V1 bought it here 206.69. Moved up, was a great trade. Today it dumped, and it's closed below the previous day's low. So if there's any, but still up on the trade, Frank, so good. GIB, this was another really nice trade here. Higher low V1 bullish engulfing, bought here at about 62.18. It has been a beautiful run, but you know, all of these kind of runs sometimes come to an end. So Kamal and Frank, looks like we closed below the previous day's low. Oil really got beat up on today. Holy smokes. Let me see who's still in this. I think Karen and oh man, what's happening? Karen and MA bought this back here, higher low V2 21.49. A bunch of us did buy it. I scaled out, got out here when I ran out of shares. Went down, but then it went up, and then it's down. So fantastic trade, beautiful trade on that. Is down a little bit, but you always do, you know, have to give back a little, I suppose, right? HLG, Quad, and Pinsky bought this, 40.51 on HLGs. Positive most of the time. Yesterday it went down, recovered. Right now slightly underwater on the trade. Walmart, oh boy. Kamal did buy Walmart down here. Can't remember exactly what the entry was. Bought it at 120.25. Moved up nicely, but now we're back down slightly underwater. Okay, here's a positive one. Gary did buy UNG here at 11.35. V1 false breakout to the downside. I bought it also too, but I had to get out the next day with the loss. Meandered around, but back up in the old range, up 2.75. So very nice, Gary. KR actually green today, which is kind of amazing. Pinsky took this higher low V1 here. Most of it was up a lot today, and then looks like it closed back under. Netflix. Ooh, boy. So Glenn had a good trade on Netflix over here at 403 intraday when it tested the 50-day moving average. Was up nicely, then got back to close even, had a big nice run. This was actually up today, but this is a monster bearish bar. This is a V1 to the downside, bearish engulfing bar. It's holding the 50 RSI. It'd be interesting to see if it can hold. DKNG. Ooh, Frank had a nice trade here, 37.64 on DKNG. Moved up nicely, but today it's puked. It's down 10%. Snap, Frank bought Snap here, 1875, was a beautiful trade, but it's given back a lot today, but still positive. AMD, who bought this? Was it Glenn? I think it was Glenn. I don't know what happened to his name, but bought this here at 54.14. Went skyrocketing up, but just down, so it looks a little underwater now. Glenn also bought Dexcom yesterday at 375.58. Down today, unfortunately. And last but not least, Kamal bought, it was a good setup, V1, false breakout to the downside. I almost took this, but at the last second I decided not to. Earlier in the day it was up, but now it is down. Looks like it's holding to halfway of the washout bar. So pretty epic day, everybody. I mean, this is what trading can be. You know, we get lulled into the market going up and lulled into the market going up. Well, sometimes it doesn't always go up. Greg, if you have time, can you go over the details of puts? I hear you mention them often, but I fully don't understand the concept. Yeah, I'll do it after we close, after the market closes, Quad. So essentially, it's a bearish position. If you buy puts on an index or a stock, you're wanting them to go down. It's like selling short. Gary said, Quad, a put. Oh, here you go. Quad says, a put gives the holder the right to sell the shares of a particular security at a certain price by a certain date. Yeah. Quad says, thank you, Gary, man. I wish I had taken a larger position in TLT, but happy with my profits. Gary says, took 3 profit targets on TLT. Very happy for that. Yep. I as well. Steve says, I almost have my 1030 EMA crossover on VIX, which would signal me buying a S&P SPY put option. Yeah, so when the 1030 crosses to the upside, Steve buys weekly puts on the SPY. I know that might be a little complicated for you that are not familiar with puts. Let's take a look here. David's here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. Hi, Greg and group. Good to see you, David. Wiener Dog says, good afternoon, Greg and all. Hello, Karen. Good to see you. Karen says, yes, have USO will be out today. Okay. Well, that was a great trade, though, right? Right, Karen? Fantastic trade. Very proud of you. Steve says, looking through my watch list, this drop today is stunning. It's unbelievable. It's freaking unbelievable. You know, I do have a friend that was short 70 calls. And if you're familiar with options, he sold calls, right? People buy calls if they want it to go up. He sold them those calls and he was just getting annihilated. So today is a welcome relief for him because Apple is down 15.6 points today, which helps a lot with the calls that he's selling. So anyway, there's a bright spot. It's there. Let me take a look here. This is unbelievable, everybody. 1,800 points down. I mean, this was back like in March. I mean, you know, as the market was going up, you know, people, the higher it goes and the higher it goes, the worse your risk to reward ratio gets, but the higher greed. You know, it's called the greater fool theory. I'm going to buy it higher than it probably worth, but I think I can sell it to a greater fool than me a little bit higher. And that all works until it comes crumbling down. And this is what happened today, didn't it? Okay. So listen, before we go through my watch list, before we look for, you know, my 3 requirements, and again, before I enter a trade, the 3 requirements are: 1, I need to look for a combination and confluence of indicators. Requirement number 2, have to make sure I have a good risk to reward ratio based upon solid, valid resistance below me and valid and likely resistance above me. Support below me, resistance above me, at least 2 to 1. And then number 3, always be cognizant of your positions. How many positions do you have in tech? How many positions do you have in healthcare or cruise lines, right? So make sure you have a good diversification. Nice if you can diversify even outside of securities like gold and oil and silver, maybe the dollar, something like that. Oh, I'm interested to look at the dollar. But anyway, before we do that, you know, I like to spend a few minutes talking about trader psychology, good good trading words of wisdom, trading philosophy. It's the most important part of the game, everybody. It's fairly easy. You could teach a 13-year-old about support and resistance and all this stuff. If you spend enough time with them, you could teach them. But what happens is we learn it, we put together a plan, but can we follow the plan? I don't know. That's the tough part. That's where it comes down to trading psychology. So I go through Facebook, I go through Twitter every day. I look for some good sayings that are helpful for me and that I think will be helpful for you. This is from Julian Komar at blog Julian Komar. Julian's in Germany, has a really good Twitter channel. I would suggest that you subscribe, read everything he has because it's really good. Acceptance will help you become a better trader. Accept to stay at the sidelines. Accept that you will have losses. Accept that you don't catch the top or the bottom. Accept 10 losses in a row. Accept that your next trade will probably be a loser. What's missing, right? It is all about acceptance. And people that have a hard time accepting things when they don't go their way, those are the people that have issues with trading. You have to accept to stay on the sidelines. You don't have to trade all the time. There's not always a good setup. It's just so accept, sitting on your hands. Accept that you will have losses. You have losses all the time. Gary and I were doing chart simulation last night. We were in 2011. Boy, we took a lot of losses. And the day before we were like in 2001 and we had a lot of losses there. And I said, we have a lot of losses here, but I'm glad that you see what real trading can be like in certain environments. It's not always winners, no matter how good your setup is. Accept that you can't catch the top or the bottom. It's always fun to think about catching the top or selling at the top or catching the bottom, but it doesn't happen very often. Accept 10 losses in a row. I've had 10 losses in a row before. It happens. It doesn't mean that your approach is wrong. It doesn't mean your setups are wrong. The way you're trading is wrong, but it's just the statistical almost certainty that you are going to have 10 losses in a row. But then how do you behave yourself after you have 10 losses? You're mad, you're frustrated. What am I doing wrong? Blah, blah, blah. I've lost all this money. Maybe I should double up. Maybe I should triple up. Maybe I should quad up, right? Because it's due. It's got to come here sooner or later. I have those thoughts. I think we all have those thoughts. But, listen. Define your risk. Take the trade. It's going to win or it's going to lose. Take the next trade. It's going to win or it's going to lose. That's what makes a winning trader is not doubling up, tripling up, just taking the trade as it comes, win or lose, and going on to the next one and accepting that your next trade will probably be a loser. This is interesting because, as you know, I've mentioned this many times, I look at every single trade like it's going to be a loser. I'm like, this one's going to be a loser. This one's going to be a loser. And am I being negative? No, I'm not being negative. But the reason I do that is because if I think to myself, this is going to be a winner. This is going to be a winner for sure. This is a great setup. And then it turns out not to be a winner. I might, in the back of my mind, go, maybe I should hold on to this a little bit longer. It was so good. However, if I think it's going to be a loser and then it goes against me and it's a loser, I'm like, aha, I'm right. I am right? My ego's intact. I was right. I can get out. So anyway, thank you, Julian Komar. I hope this helps, but stay on the sidelines. Accept that you're going to have losses. Accept that you're not going to catch the tops and bottoms. Accept that you might have 10 losses in a row, and accept that your next trade will probably be a loser. Sounds fun, right? That's good times with trading. Well, this is the other side. It's not always rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. I can tell you that. Bacon said, sell-off is accelerating. Yep. I was fortunate enough to clear a lot of those puts off. When you're buying long-term puts, it's difficult because the bid and the ask spread is very wide. There's not a lot of volume, but fortunately all the puts that I got out of today, I got out of at the ask, and it happens every time the market has a big down thrust and accelerate. Glenn says, market just tested 3,000. VIX is up 53%. Holy camole. Is it really? This is 47. Unbelievable. Look at that, everybody. Well, I guess volatility is back. Holy smokes, man. Unbelievable. So what Steve's talking about is when the VIX has the 10-30 crossover, then he will buy weekly puts. I'm not exactly sure of the strategy. I don't know if he buys them just buys them in the middle of the week and covers them on Friday and then Friday writes for the next week. I'm not sure. Maybe Steve could enlighten us on that if he's around. You can see the Qs down here finally starting to find a little bit of support. This is the Qs on the 5-minute. We're to 36.71 RSI. So we did go under 30, over 30. You know, I would be inclined to possibly get in this trade because we have a bottom. We went green. We have a lower low. We have deeper MACD bars here, more shallow here. So under 30, over 30. I'm not going to buy this because I'm doing the podcast. But if I was not preoccupied with the podcast, I would probably, me personally, I'd probably buy here and get out with the stop under the 30. Can tell you one thing, I'm not super excited about buying the SPY at the end of the day, but I am going to do it. I am going to do it. Volatility did pick up today though, obviously, and so my 2 ATRs increased, which will reduce the amount of shares that I buy. So that's one good reasons I like doing my position sizing based upon 2 ATRs. Steve says, I will buy front week at the money puts and roll them if they go into the money and try to keep my delta between 50 and 75%. Okay, that makes sense. That does not make sense to people who don't know what options are, but it does make sense. Thanks, Steve. So he'll buy front week at the money put options and roll them if they go in the money. So he'll buy the puts. If they're in the money, he'll roll them into the next week and he'll try to keep his delta between 50 and 75%. And if he's buying at the money options, they probably will be within that range of delta of 50, 75%. All right. Well, let's take a look at the carnage here. Let me take a look real quick over here. Play the Jeopardy music while I'm thinking. 1,800 points down. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Apple. Well, we're still pretty high. I mean, we went over 70, under 70. My guess, and obviously this is just a guess, but people that were up here shorting, you know, we've come back down. I mean, we may have another day to the downside or more, who knows, but people that missed this move probably will, right down in this area, will be looking to get in at a better price. So people shorting up here probably look to buy down here. People that missed the move probably look to buy down here. So, you know, it's not like I'm going to get in here and short Apple today. No way. No way. But what I'd like to do, you know, like to see it come back down into the value zone. This is what I'm looking for. Adobe, I don't know if it had earnings this morning or if it has earnings after, but back in the value zone. It always comes back into the value zone, folks. That's why I do not buy up here. And lots of times I won't buy and it'll keep going, but you know, magically you look at it a week, 10 days later, and it's, you know, lots of time below where you would have bought it. So we're coming back into the value zone. This is good. It's resetting things for us. We could possibly, you know, have some dip buys here, but I have to, you know, on all these stocks, I have to see that it stops going down. I mean, we're down now, we're in the value zone, yes, but we could just keep going down. I want to see that we come down, hold. Amazon, all right, who had puts on Amazon yesterday? GM had puts on Amazon. He's cleaning up. He or she bought puts at 2,600. Now it's 2568. So it is in the money. They're intrinsically in the money. So he's cleaning up today, or she's cleaning up today. Boeing, whoa, 16% down. You know, I did buy Boeing, and I guess it was the right move. I bought Boeing here on the weekly with this V2. Went up. I can't remember how big of a gain. I should remember because it's one of the biggest gains I've had in a long time. It was 49%. I did get out because it rejected the 50 RSI. I just went ahead and got out. Then it went up the beginning of the week, and I was like, well, I guess I should have. But now that was the right move, and really glad. I have a friend of mine that was averaging into Boeing. He asked me about it. He goes, what would you do? I'm almost even. I said, get out. Get out. You had such a massive loss, and you're literally just a couple $1,000s away from break even. I spoke with him this morning. Thank goodness he got out here. Thankfully, it's down 15%. Alibaba, we talked about that. Frank has that back in the value zone. Let me know if there's any changes on that, Frank, but glad to see you're still in the money. Berkshire Hathaway, holy smokes. I did buy Berkshire for another account that I manage, and I got out up here when it was craziness. I got out up here. I think it went 2 more days higher than where I got out, and I was like, well, but look, see the gap here? We filled the gap. That's what's happening. We are way back into the under the value zone now. So, you know, in the next few days, might have some kind of trade. Or not next few days, maybe in a week. This has to settle down. Beyond Meat, back in the value zone. Just another reason why I do not mess around and buy up here. Everything feels good up here, but in reality, I'd rather buy in value, sell above value. Buy in value, sell above value. Buy in value, maybe sell above value or take a small loss. Caterpillar, back in value. Again, everything was so overvalued as far as the way that I quantify what overvalued is, and that's being above the 1 ATR channel. Now we're back in the value zone. So we could really have some nice setups coming here in the future. Carnival Cruise Line, this is another one. I had calls on this. I think I sold them here. You know, I wasn't going to be greedy about it. I knew statistically when we get up here, things are going to go higher. Then it went higher one more day. I was like, oh well. But now, of course, I'm really glad. But look, we have some support down here. You know, at this level and this level, we're back in the value zone. It's down 15% today. My gosh, those Robinhood traders just got annihilated today. You knew what was coming. We've talked about this. The Dow lost to 200, lost to 70, lost to 50 RSI, back in the value zone. If it could just settle down, this is a good dip buying opportunity in my opinion. If we get the right setup. Walt Disney, just getting hammered. Boy, I thought about shorting Walt Disney here, and I didn't. Ugh. Anyway, nothing there. Etsy, only down 2.7% today. That's like a win. Facebook, back down almost 5% into the value zone. So nothing yet, but could be setting up for V1, V2. Gold, my chart's messed up. Unfortunately, gold is down 94 cents. Again, I bought half my position here at 163.49. Bought my other half today. I only took a half because it crossed over and I thought there might be some backfill. It's exactly what happened. Came back to about 50% of yesterday's bar, halfway of yesterday's bar, and I bought it here at 162.30. So I am up on that second half. So that's good. And this is a 520 cross. Sorry, I can't show you here because it's missing that bar. Google, of course, is going to be down. Yep, right back down in the value zone. Looks like we washed out this low. This was the previous low. So, you know, could possibly have some setups in the future. Goldman Sachs, oh my gosh, that's unbelievable. But sorry if any of you had Goldman Sachs, but back in the value zone. Home Depot, we were talking about Home Depot, how this was just the most artificial, unsustainable move. Just seemed fake. Boom. You know, look at the trend lines. I'm not a great trend line drawer, but You know, here was the trend line. Well, we sure broke below it today. You know, that's changing a lot of things. I mean, it's showing that its changes happen. IBB, I don't see anything there. Intel, holy Hannah. You know, with these big bars, it's like throwing a big rock into the water, and there's lots of commotion. You have to wait till the water and commotion settles down before you start making entries, because there's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of emotions right now. IWM did really well on those puts. I gotta say, did really well on those puts in the value zone. Johnson & Johnson, oh my gosh, this is unbelievable. CarMax finally came down back in the value zone. This has been one heck of a move on CarMax back in the value zone, so that's good. So, oh look, we almost bounced off the 200. I'd like to see this move sideways for a little bit, maybe a V1, V2 under over the 100 and V1, 200 over V2. That might be interesting. Coca-Cola, unbelievable, 6.25%. That's nasty. Lockheed Martin, I like Lockheed Martin. You know, I'd like to see a rejection of the 200. I might get in there, take a small position, or take a position with a good risk to reward. MasterCard just dumped. McDonald's into the value zone. So looking for some sideways. Merck, let me guess, it's down. Oh my gosh. Guess that would have been the good short right there with the close back under the 200. Give you a good risk to reward ratio if you're wrong. If you're right, every once in a while you get something like this. Microsoft. My only regret is that in the another account that I manage, I was phasing out here up to here. Every fiber in my body wanted to just sell that yesterday. And I did. I got out of about 60% of the shares, and but kept the other ones. Not my account, another account. Netflix, well, hanging in there, hanging in halfway of this big bar here, but there was a lot of selling up here, so I don't see anything. Nike, boom, right back into the value zone. So again, you know, above value, into value. It's just a good idea to buy into value, not up here. You didn't see Steve buying anything, did you? Steve didn't buy anything. He got out a few days early, right? Like I did on a bunch of stuff. Got out a few days early, but sometimes you get out early. But if you look back in time, a lot of time, now he's really glad. Philip Morris down almost 4.78%. My goodness. PayPal down. I've been talking about PayPal for a while. We're going up and up and up and up and up. MACD's going down and down and down and down and down. But, you know, if I'm really looking to short here, I'm not going to short this first move. I'm going to wait for a bounce that very likely is coming and then try to short a lower high. Qs, I had that loss on the 39 minute. Bought here. 39 minutes later, it closed there. Had to take a small loss. Let me see what this is doing intraday. It feels like it's rallying a bit. Yeah. Look at the big bar we had up. Will it hold the halfway on the 5 minute? I don't know. Oh, remember I was telling you guys about a double bottom with the bullish divergence under 30 over 30 right in here? I was talking about that about 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. That was right in here. And it did go. Short-lived, but it did go. Silver, we have a lower high, almost V1 to the downside. SPY, well, look, we have the 200 under here, right? This is what Gary and I were doing last night. You know, if we have a bounce at the 200, I would consider buying there for sure. Same time it's in the value zone. Teladoc, oh, V1 to the downside. But not down too bad. Bonds, it's been a great trade. Very grateful for that. Oh, Tesla. What's happened to Tesla? Back under 1,000. Back under 1,000. It was there for a day. Twitter down 5.98%, but we are back in the value zone, back in the hundreds. So in the coming days, there might be something here. UAL is probably brutal, right? 15%. Yes, back in the value zone. Look, we might get back here to this previous resistance. So UNG, really nice, Gary. United Healthcare, holy smokes. Oil, we talked about that. I think Karen's getting out of that. Dollar. Oh, there's my trade. I was talking about this with Gary. That's my trade. So let me do the numbers real quick. Ooh, I can get that. Buy a lot of shares with that small. 5, 3, 5, 1.5. All right, so I do like this. It's the under 30, over 30, V1, bullish engulfing bar, false break of the downside, and rejection of the 6 ATR channel. All right, doesn't get any better than that. Doesn't mean it's going to work, but it is a good setup. VIX is unbelievable. Can't chase that. Verizon, nope. Walgreens in the value zone, so that's at least good. Walmart, I think Kamal's going to be getting out of that. Energy sector, right back in the value zone. My gosh, just remember next time things get up here and everybody's going crazy and talking about how much money they're making. Financials, very weak. Real estate, down today. Utilities, also down. Healthcare, wow. And Zoom. Zoom's up. Wow. All right, let me just check TLT. Yeah. And let me check gold. All right, so gold's fine. Looks like the only thing I'm going to buy today is the overnight SPY trade and the dollar. Okay. Mohammed is here. Hi, Mohammed. Good to see you. Hi, Greg. Hi, fellow traders. Hello, sir. I am bracing for a 10% drop in our market next Sunday. Ouch. Oh, boy. Ugh. Oh, because you live in a different time zone. Steve says, I'll be looking to make money in both Vega expansion and intrinsic value capture with my put option play. Gary says, Steve, are you buying the June 1942s? I'm only buying if the 10-day crosses over the 10 EMA crosses over the 30 EMA. Front month week at the money put June 19th. Oh, Kamal. Thank you. No, it's today. It's today, Kamal. This is today's bar. But I'm missing it on silver and I'm missing it on gold, unfortunately. Okay, so the front month would be June 19th. So yeah, that will be end of next week. Quad says, me looking over my watch list today. Nope, 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 and nope. I have nothing to buy on my list today. Well, that's good. Kamal says, Greg, are you missing the up bar on 610? Oh, yes, I am. Okay, thank you for that. Let me look over here on my other charts and see what that looks like. Thank you, Kamal. I'm looking over here at my other charts on Schwab, and it does look correct still. That's the 10th was yesterday. Yeah, I think it looks fine. $1,800 points down. Wow. All right. I'm going to go ahead and buy UUP. Glad that it has a good spread there. I guess money's rushing into the dollar. Take a look at the cues here. Look over here. Alrighty. Apple's down $16. Oh my gosh. That's freaking unbelievable. Look at this little range it's holding on the 5-minute. Here we have another double bottom with a bullish divergence. Red, green, no red. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens in these last few minutes. So I looked over at my other chart on Schwab. It looks correct. Now I'm starting to wonder. Let me look one more time. Today's the 10th. I mean, today's the 11th. Yesterday was the 10th. Day before that was the 9th. Yeah, it looks fine on mine. Yeah, that looks correct. Thank you for saying that, Kamal. That looks correct. All right, well, it looks like we have 1 minute left. I'm sorry, 5 seconds left. Sorry, 5 seconds. Okay. Wow, what an epic day. What a freaking epic day. I'm grateful that I was light on the equity side. You know, had overnight SPY trade, which was no fun, but feel very fortunate to get out of this pretty unscathed today, which is not always the case. Wow. Wow. Well, this is one for the history books, everybody, for sure. My goodness. Bob says, I see a V2 on TO on Thinkorswim. Yeah, it was a, well, let's see. So you see a V2, I see a V1. On my other charts, I saw a V2 as well. All right, so listen, if you have any changes to the board today, anything that you got in or out of, please let me know. I'm happy to update those, make sure they look right. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm going to talk a little bit about puts. But before I do that, I just quickly want to put in my daily plug and let everybody know that I do offer private one-on-one coaching and teaching. I love to teach. I've had really good success with my clients. I teach over Skype. I have a session, or I have a course that's 5 sessions, 3 hours per session, so a total of 15 hours, and it's you and I one-on-one. It's long-form teaching. In my opinion, the best way to teach. I teach the lesson. I have you teach it back to me. I throw you a lot of curveballs. We look at lots of charts. Where's your, what looks better? This chart, that chart. Why? Where's your entry? Where's your end of day stop? Where's your emergency stop? Where's your initial profit target? Where's your ultimate profit target? Is it high enough to start trailing? How do you position size for this? How do you look for charts on multiple time frames? All these things is what I teach in the session, and it really takes about 15 hours to teach you everything, but I think it's the best way to learn. I've been trading for 24 years. I have studied with some really great mentors, teachers, and authors like our good friend Stephen Burns. I've studied with him one-on-one, Dr. Alexander Elder one-on-one, Kerry Lavorne, Larry Williams, and what I teach is a combination of everything that I've learned from these great traders. So if you're interested in taking the course with me, the first thing I would ask you to do is just reach out to me. You can send me a message on Twitter at Gossett Trading, or you can also send me an email, which is in the description of this video. And during that Skype call, I promise you, it's not a sales call. It's not a sales call at all. It's just a call for us to get to know each other a little bit better. I want to know more about you and your trading, your challenges and your goals. It's a good time for you to ask me any questions about the course or about me. But again, it's not a sales call. I promise you. I don't say, hey, do you want to take the course? I just say, look, after the call, if you're interested, reach out to me and we'll set it up if you're interested. Right? So if you've been thinking about it, I think you'll enjoy it. It is $1,000, but I really do think it's worth every single penny. So if you've been thinking about it, reach out to me. It's a good time now. Got through a lot of my current clients, and we'll do it. I think you'll have fun, and I think it'll be a valuable skill that you learn. And then also, if you like today's podcast, I would appreciate it if you could hit the thumbs up button. It helps with YouTube as far as promoting the channel, knowing that there's something of value to the channel. And the channel's grown pretty nice, and it's thanks to people like you coming here and hitting thumbs up and sharing it, all that kind of stuff. So thank you for that. Okay, so let's take a look here. A few weeds crept up in everybody's garden. Let's see. Evan closed out ATVI. Okay, but still a profitable trade, Evan. There you go. Sold some before. See, that's the thing. That's why I really like to scale out, Evan and everyone. Evan bought here, but it went up, he scaled out. I always like to take some off the table so I don't have to get out just on weakness, right? Like Roku. Here's Roku, right? Kamal still had a profitable trade. I don't think he phased here, right? But this is a good example of, phasing may not have been such a bad idea on this particular trade, but sometimes it goes higher and you wish you hadn't have phased. So, all right, so Kamal's out of Roku. And GIB. And OKTA. And Walmart. And TWOU. Okay, copy that. Got that. Frank says, I am thankful to have gotten through today relatively unscathed. Yes. Any changes for you, Frank, on anything today? If there is, please let me know. Kamal says all cash. Good. USO. What happened to my USO? Oh, here we go. All right. So Karen is out of USO. Very nice. Beautiful trade. You held on to it like a champion of champions. And TLT. No scaling, so enough in UU. Oh, okay. Oh, let me take a look and see where I got into UUP and all this. Okay, so I got into UUP at 26.18, and I got into SPY at 361. Okay. So UUP, I got in at 26.18. And we have Karen in there. And then SPY, boy, that was nasty. But again, trying glass half full. I'm sure glad I got at the freaking open, right? 361. Okay. GM, hey buddy, or girl, I'm sorry, not sure. Sorry, I hope I didn't offend you. I am just not sure. We have a couple of initials. One's a girl, and now I forgot which one was which. Let's see. Oh yeah, GM did really, really well on the puts. Congratulations, GM. Good call. Okay. TLT, no scaling, but Karen's out. You know, it's interesting. When I studied with Dr. Alexander Elder, when I talked to him about, his exit plan, it was basically, when it's enough, it's enough. He says enough's a power word. And Karen just did the power move. She said is enough is enough. I agree. It was a really good trade. All right. GM said, hi, how are you? Really good trade. Quad Racer says, add me to UUP. All right. Roger that. Glenn. Okay. Glenn is out of AMD. Out of Dexcom. And Netflix. All right. Well, Netflix was still a profitable trade for you, so that's good. Kamal says, with that statistic, it's good for me to sit in all cash. Frank says, I'm just holding BABA and TLT. All right, so I have Frank and Frank over here still. Yes. Gary says, just read an article on MarketWatch titled, "The NASDAQ is exhibiting signs of panic, like buying, not selling, even as the stock market gets rocked Thursday." Interesting. Steve says, today was the fourth biggest drop for the Dow in history. Just missed the top 20 in percentages. Wow. GM says, just wanted to stop by. I'm tired, long trading day. I need my beauty rest. See ya. See you, Greg. Oh, GM is the girl. I'm so sorry. We have GM and we have MA, and I got them confused. So thank you. Really, really good call on Amazon, and thanks for the thumbs up. Go get some sleep, and thanks for stopping by and saying hi. Frank says, thank goodness for stops. 100%. GM says, thank you, honey. Good night, all. Kamal says, Greg, I am at a CRM as well. Okay. Okay. So, Gary M got into gold on that pullback. Good. UUP. Okay, got that. Hi, Andrea. Good to see you. Man, if I could type. Okay, I got you in, Andrea. Frank says, I love stops above my cost basis. 100% trailing stop, right? Pinsky says, no changes here. My positions are neither up or down compared to yesterday. Well, that seems like a monster win to me, right? So listen, Anthony was asking about puts. So listen, you can buy a put or you can sell a put. You can buy a call or you can sell a call. If you're buying a call, it's essentially just like trying to go long a stock. If you buy a put, it's like going short a stock. If you sell a put, you're taking on the risk from somebody buying the put, and you get a premium to do that, but you have unlimited risk. If you're selling a call to somebody that's buying a call, you're getting a premium to do that, but you're taking on unlimited risk. If you buy a put or buy a call, the advantage is you have you have unlimited theoretically upside, but you have a limited downside. So if I buy a $5,000 put on the market and it goes down, I can make I can make a lot, right? I mean, there's a finite amount because it could go to zero. But when you buy a put, you're limited. It's a defined risk, meaning that you're only risking what the initial premium was. It's like buying car insurance. You pay your monthly insurance, and if something happens, then you're covered. And if something doesn't happen, then you just are out the money for buying the insurance that month. So it's kind of the same with buying puts, buying calls. If you're buying a call, your one contract controls 100 share of the stock. And you can, if you buy 100 shares of like Microsoft, it's going to cost you a lot of money. But if you buy one contract, which controls 100 shares, it costs much less money. So the leverage is much higher. And the advantage of buying puts and buying calls is that if you're wrong, you can only be wrong the amount that it costs you. So, if you want to short the market, you can just go ahead and short the market, but then you have an unlimited risk theoretically to the upside. If you want to short the market, you could also express that trade by buying a put. And when you buy a put, you buy a put at a strike price. It has to expire a certain time, and it has to be at a certain strike price, meaning, how should I put this? if you buy a put and your strike price is way down, you pay less for the put. If you buy a put right where the current market is, you pay more for it. But when you buy a put, maybe you buy it at $1. If the market goes up, it might expire as 0, then you just lose the dollar. But if you buy it at $1 and it goes down, it might increase to $1, $3, $5, $10, even possibly, right? So it's just a way to express a long or a short based upon the underlying position. But the advantage is it's limited risk. And, people always get a little confused sometimes when you're talking about shorting. You sell first, you buy back later. But, if I say to you, hey, you're going to buy something at 2 and sell it at 4, you understand that, right? It's the same with a put. You buy it at 2. If it goes up against you, it might go to 0. You lose it. But if you buy it at 2 and the stock or the index or whatever you're betting on goes down, then it increases in value. So if you buy a put and it costs you $1 and it goes at $2, then you doubled your money, right? You buy it $1, maybe it goes to $3 or $4, you triple or quadruple your money, but all you can lose is $1. So there's tons of stuff on YouTube about options, but there's 4 ways. You can buy a put or you can sell a put. You can buy a call or you can sell a call. And then there's a million other combinations. You can get super fancy with like iron flags, iron condors, straddles, strangles, spreads, bear spreads, bullish spreads, all sorts of stuff. Have a great day, Gary, yourself. Congratulations. Big day for Gary. Andrew says, what do you think of Apple puts now? Might be some good paying ones to sell right now. Yeah, I agree, Andrea. I mean, see, I'm thinking the exact same way. I mean, volatility has gone up, which means if you sell puts or you sell calls, you're going to get a lot more money for it, the premium. It's like an insurance agency. If I go in and say, hey, I bought a Toyota 4Runner and I'm like over 50, my insurance is going to be pretty low. But if you get a 23-year-old that buys a Ferrari, his premium is going to be way higher than mine, right? Because I'm older and more experienced driver and all that kind of stuff. So when volatility picks up, think of volatility as like a young driver. Like there's danger. Well, there's danger in the market right now. So if you sold puts instead of bought puts, you're going to get a lot of premium. And it's one of my favorite option trades to make is selling puts when the market goes down a lot, because you get a lot of premium, plus you get protection to the downside, you get time decay. I mean, there is no way I would be shorting Apple here, right? As I talked about before. It's come down. People that were lucky enough to short up here, they're going to be looking to probably cover. So that's going to cause buying pressure from the shorts having to cover their positions. A move up that people missed, they probably want to get into Apple. If it comes back a little bit, they'll probably be buying. I would consider selling puts on Apple, Andrea, because of the premium is going to be much higher. I think me personally, I'd probably give it one more day. I mean, if you sold puts up here, maybe you got, 50 cents. Today, maybe you got $1.50. You got 3 times the amount of premium. But, if I had to sell puts on Apple here right now this second, I don't know, I'd probably sell them like 315 or something down here, which would give me from here to here protection. But I don't think I'm just going to sell them right this second. I'm going to see what happens tomorrow. But I 100% agree with you, Andrea. I love selling puts on the biggest and best companies on days like today. Okay, Quad says I'm at a TLT. Roger that. Thank you, Kamal. Thanks, bud. Appreciate it. Well, what's going on after hours? This should be interesting. Dow's up a little bit. Gold's down. IWM's up a little bit. Microsoft's up a little bit. Qs are up 66 cents. Hey, SPY's up 73 cents. That's a good sign. Knock on wood. UUP is unchanged. Frank says inverse EFTs can also be useful. Yes, thank you, Frank. That's correct. If you don't want to short, but you think the market's going down and it confuses you as far as having to sell first and buy back later, then yes, you can use an inverse EFT, which will go up if the market goes down. But you're just used to buying, at 10 and hopefully selling at 11. So if it goes from 10 to 11, it means the market went down. So it's, if spatially you have a kind of a difficult time registering how to short and how that looks like, 100%. Thank you, Frank. Pinsky and Company says, thanks. Today I learned I should be looking at every trade like it's going to be a loser. It sounds negative, but it's not negative, because if you think every trade's going to be a loser, then you're going to be really careful and get out quickly. If you're wrong because you already thought it was going to be a loser, you're going to pay a lot of attention to your position size, all the things that you should do. But if you think everything's going to be a winner, then you're going to be probably a little bit more sloppy, right? But if you think everything's going to be a loser, then you're going to tighten things up. Okay. All right, so we have TLT, we have gold, don't have Apple, don't have the Qs, and have UUP. Be interesting to see what UUP does tomorrow. Oh, I was going to mention, Gary and I were talking about this last night. If we look at the UUP, which is the dollar on the weekly, if I trade the daily, I need a setup on the daily, but I like to turn to the weekly and go, anything good going on the weekly? Well, look, way back here, we had this huge up bar on the weeklies. Now we've come back. We're hanging around about 50%, the 50% fib of a 50% retracement from the top, which is normal. That's a good 50% retracement. Also, we have the 100 moving average here, 100 week moving average, and the -1 ATR channel average too. So we have support of the 50 fib from the big bar back up here on 313. We have not quite support of the 100, but it's dancing around it. And so I like it. I mean, it doesn't mean it's going to be right. Tomorrow, my stop's going to be halfway to the washout bar. Today is the washout bar. I hope my charts fix themselves, because this bugs me to have one day that's not showing. So when it updates tonight, I hope it will right itself, because I have two positions in charts that are not completely right, but I can look over at my other charts anyway. My goodness, what a day. I mean, this was a one-way trip. Look at the gap and just down, 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 down. Any rally just immediately got sold into, whether it was the Qs or whether it was the SPY. This is unbelievable. All right. Bob says, hey, Greg, can you look at SPY in after hours? I see a price spike all the way up to 319 and then right back down. I've seen that type of movement on SPY a lot lately. Price manipulation? No, I think just what that is, in after hours, the bid and the ask spreads are wider. They might be, well, let's take a look and see exactly what they are. Well, no, it's only 4 cents, but I have it at 301.30, and you said it was what? 319. Oh no. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happens there if just some trade just went across, but right now it's 301.25 by 301.29. So definitely nowhere near 319. You know, lastly, I was talking about gaps and, filling gaps. Well, here's one gap that got filled today. Now we have a gap to the upside. And here's the second gap down here. This one might need to get filled down. We could come down here to about 295 or so to fill that gap. And then here's another gap down here. That's what was concerning me going up, was gap, gap, gap. Those things tend to get filled. Okay, well, listen, let me just leave you off with, please go out and do something nice for somebody today. Just a smile or a wave or a hello, or just be pleasant. We need a lot more of that in this world, especially now. And as I say every day, scientifically proven to help your trading if you're nice to people. Maybe. It doesn't hurt, right? So have a good rest of your day. Be good. Be safe. I'm going to go out and go on a hike. Enjoy the nice weather. And yeah, that's it. And also, if you could hit the thumbs up button before you get out of here, I would really appreciate it. Okay? Frank says, truth be told, anyone that listens to this channel should not have been surprised by today. Oh, thanks, Frank. Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult when you know certain levels are extreme and they keep going extreme. You just sit on your thumbs, you're like, dang, I'd like to be involved in this, like Steve, right? Steve, the last few days, Steve hasn't been involved in this up move either, but, the reason we really were not involved is because we don't buy those high prices. So, okay. Thanks, Frank. Thanks, Dan. Bye, Karen. Thank you, Greg. Have a great evening. Yeah, Andrea, we'll be watching Apple tomorrow and we'll see, right? All right. Have a good day, my friends. Thank you so much for coming. Always nice to see you. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow and we'll see what happens. Historic day. But thanks again. Good seeing everyone. Bye-bye. U.S. government required disclaimer. Stock, options, futures, and forex trading is not appropriate for everyone. While there is a potential for large rewards, there is also a substantial risk of loss associated with trading. The material in this video or live broadcast is not geared towards any particular individual or to any particular financial situation and is not intended to meet the particular investment objectives of any viewer. This video or live broadcast, like all instructional materials produced by Gossett Trading and Mentoring LLC, is created and published for informational and educational purposes only. Any and all information contained in, implied, or referenced by this video or live broadcast is not to be construed as investment advice, and no representation is made that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast is an investment or financial advisor or is registered or authorized to give any financial advice. We are publishers and educators only. Therefore, the various producers of this video or live broadcast will not accept liability for any loss or damage of any kind which may arise either directly or indirectly out of the use of any of this material, including any loss of profit. No representation is made that any account or investment will or is likely to achieve the profit or losses demonstrated. We recommend consultation with a licensed and qualified professional before making any investment decision. This video or live broadcast is not to be construed as an offer to buy or sell any security, financial instrument, or financial product of any kind. Notice is hereby given that any individual or entity involved in production of this video or live broadcast or their clients may have an interest in any security, financial instrument, or financial product mentioned or referenced. Any simulated or hypothetical performance result depicted does not represent actual trading and therefore may under or overcompensate for the impact of various market factors such as lack of liquidity.